Welcome to ShiftWatch. I'm your host, Starbuck. In this episode, Chrys Kyng invited me to share my multidimensional experiences on his podcast channel, Ascending the Matrix, and we cover a lot of ground this time around. Next, well, here's a natural catastrophic phenomenon that I hadn't seen yet. Tornadoes within volcanic eruptions. What's next? And Space Weather News reports on a massive coronal hole coming into Earth-facing side, bigger than any I had ever seen. Then, another opportunity for the uninitiated to join the awakened ranks. For any of the rest of you following along on your crazy phenomenon scorecards, you already know this is not a ball of lightning. And finally, Graham Hancock on consciousness and what he sees as necessary for humanity's evolutionary wake-up.
Hello, star people. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Ascend the Matrix podcast. I'm your host, Chrys Kyng. I'm a shamanic healer, psychic medium, astrologer, ascension guide, and creator of the Medicine Alchemist and Ascended Astrology. I assist awakened souls, light workers, and starseeds like yourself heal, connect with spirit and star beings, create 5D businesses, and ascend the false matrix. And this podcast will take you on a multidimensional journey through the world of shamanism, ascended astrology, UFOs and starseed contact, conspiracy theories, or should I say truths, and the multidimensional nature of reality, with the intention of bridging the gap between 3D and 5D so that we can ascend the matrix together. And in this episode, I am interviewing an incredible guest and fellow Lemurian brother, Lowell Johnson, for a fifth dimensional conversation that will inspire you to take a trip to Mount Shasta ASAP and leave you questioning the nature of reality itself. Lowell is a light worker, ascension blogger, host of Starbuck's Mystery School podcast, author of Starbuck's Dimensional Adventures, and most notably, a Lemurian contactee and Telos delegate. Hiking alone in the forests of Mount Shasta, California, completely unaware of Telos and Lemurians, he never could have expected the mountain to open up and invite him inside. This experience triggered an awakening meant to be shared with all of humanity, and he's bringing you that story today. Thank you, Lowell, for being here on Ascend the Matrix podcast. I have been fascinated with your story and your experiences, and just before we got on here, we had some incredible conversations about the current energies that are at play and really connecting our energies in with each other. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here, for one, and welcome.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, I just looked at the clock. Our green room time was 25 minutes long. So there was a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
But I think, we want to speak from the level that we're at. And I'm not saying, and I don't want to posture myself as, this guy thinks he's talking to us from up here.
Right.
I've just been open to some things that certainly resonate with others that's just new to their experiences. I just got there first. So, let's start by talking about Shasta.
Lowell, I was just going to say, most of the people who are listening to this who would be attracted to a podcast called Ascend the Matrix, right? They are on board with what we're going to talk about today, and it's not only intriguing, but for me, it's necessary because your story also helped me. I didn't need to be told that Telos was a real place or that there was something under Mount Shasta, and those are all the things that we're going to get into today. But when someone who, like yourself, feels relatable, you do, and someone who I feel like, hey, I don't think that he's doing anything extra special. I think he was chosen based on your connections to Lemuria and probably a contract you've created with them, to be the one that is a torchbearer and shares this information so that other people can go and say, maybe not look to go into the side of the mountain like that, but to say something deeper, no pun intended, is going on here.
Solar flaring has dropped out despite the high sunspot number, no significant eruptive events over the last day. But we were waiting for one, weren't we? In the afternoon hours of the west, it arrived. Strong front-side geomagnetic compression of the CME, ground magnetic perturbations as well, but the solar storm never quite got strong enough to have a dramatic impact on induced electric currents. That's another thing that higher density solar wind does better than what we saw last night. Here is the solar wind data, and the jump cut in the data curves is where the CME arrived. Not at all difficult to spot, but the yellow panel, plasma density, shows only a small increase. Most of the more impactful CMEs have density marks 2 to 5 times higher than this one. And that's why, despite some solid speed to the shockwave, we only briefly hit level 2 geomagnetic storm conditions. While a reverberation may occur today, we have probably seen the worst of this event. Interestingly, the coronal hole kinda snuck up on us, didn't it? Really lacking the full visibility in the other wavelengths, like a big triangle. This one will be facing Earth middle of the week and is likely the source of the next space weather event.
What is it? It's going for a long time.
A ball of light hovers over a field.
Looks like a fireball, but not really. It's the wrong color.
And this couple from Rich Valley, Alberta, was mesmerized.
After a rather vicious lightning strike, we saw the ball of fire kind of retain, 20 feet above the ground.
The cell phone video was captured an hour northwest of Edmonton by Ed and Melinda Party. It shows the ball of light for about 20 seconds before it disintegrates. They were under a tornado watch and experiencing a thunderstorm Wednesday evening when they saw this about a kilometer away from their home.
Yeah, it was moving horizontally above the ground. Incredibly bright, too.
It was very bright.
It was really bright.
Off in the distance, they see something glowing there.
But what exactly is it? According to one scientist, it could be ball lightning or a form of it.
Sometimes you can get that plasma itself or region of plasma to just linger for a little while. And sometimes that plasma itself, if it's in a ball shape, they call it ball lightning.
It's a rare phenomenon that can be produced from intense lightning. But why it's caused is still something scientists are trying to determine.
What are the right conditions to actually make this phenomenon happen? We don't know, because again, it's such a really rare event and it's not very well understood.
Florian believes that although this weather event is rare, we could see more of it.
The more and more severe storms that we're getting across the prairies, there might be greater chances of other people witnessing these phenomena as well.
The parties say they're lucky to experience an extraordinary event not many people have.
I was glad it was far away from our house, though, because I don't think I'd want to get near that, because that's a lot of power in there.
Cabby Maitharan, Global News.
There's so much that may be missing. It's not clear. But what I do know is within the civilizations and even the notion of a lost civilization that I've been pursuing, I think we're the first to have embraced these horrific weapons, whereby a planetary apocalypse can be brought upon us by our own behavior, where we can actually do it to ourselves, where we don't need that gigantic solar outburst, or we don't need to be hit by multiple pieces of a disintegrating comet. We're so stupid and so irresponsible that we'll just do it to ourselves. We're so tribal that we regard our particular tribe as having a right to wipe out other tribes. This has to change if there's to be any future for humanity.
Do you think that the veil is thinning, and simultaneous to multipolar nuclear world that's on the brink, we're also sort of commensurately waking up?
Yeah, I do. I think the only hope is an elevation of consciousness. And that has to be across a wide range of the population. No dictator comes to power without a substantial mass of the population supporting that dictator. They don't just seize power. They're manifesting a particular impulse within society, and that impulse comes from low consciousness, a very low state of consciousness. And I would say that my comment on leaders a moment ago, I would say those who are leading the world or misleading the world today are at the lowest possible state of consciousness that a human being can have, and how tragic it is that they're running the world. Consciousness change will be what saves us. If it can happen fast enough, if more and more people wake up and realize the predicament we've put ourselves in, and realize that we're all fellow human beings sharing this journey on this amazing garden of a planet, voyaging through the universe. And we need to look after each other and look after ourselves. Great power brings great responsibility. We should not use that power for destruction. We should use it for building and for construction. If people are in a more difficult condition than we are, we should help them get out of that condition. We shouldn't kill them off.
That's beautiful.